let's talk about The Venture Bros, Season 2, Episode 2, Hate Float. An episode I'm sure everyone remembers just from its most memorable, just by way of being one of the most memorable opening sequences The Venture Bros has ever had. We start off with the Monarch crew getting a call from the boss.
Explain to me why my cocoon is charred?
Because you told us to destroy the cocoon.
And why it is sideways?
We were following orders. You can't yell at us for following orders.
Or kill us for following orders.
Never mind.
He's a touch upset about the current state of affairs, as the cocoon is currently sideways, blown up in a gorge. But the guys were just following orders, so we can't be mad. And they start making plans to get the cocoon operational once again. And then Mars, bringer of war, starts to play, and we see 21's suit up sequence. He types in his secret code, opens his secret stash of legendary armors, equips and fastens his henchman uniform, and prepares for another day of battle. We then see Hank and Dean asleep in the learning beds, waiting to wake up on their 16th birthday. And they're definitely not clones, and we don't need to check their IDs. It all totally checks out. Don't ask any more questions.
Happy 16th birthday, boys.
Blow out your candle.
21 and 24 started recruiting a new Monarch crew, and even with their bad high school acting, they are doing surprisingly well. They managed to find people, possibly not the best people, but people nonetheless.
Oh, it's like you're reading my mind.
I am not a mind reader, stranger.
Maybe it's the fact that they're offering a dart gun and grappling cannon, which is kind of legit. They also managed to steal Sergeant H's hover tank engine once again. So the crew, definitely not the worst choice the Monarch could have had.
You actually did what I told you?
Oh yeah, we are up and running. The new guy stole some parts from Sergeant Hatred's hover tank.
And the Venture Bros, celebrating their birthday, have gone shopping at the mall. And Dean is getting his very first speed suit, or short sleeve jumpsuit, as many normal people would refer to it.
As a speed suit. Only the perfect habiliment for the science-minded man, who knows both comfort and ease and demands them from his clothing.
And unfortunately, this is the start of Dean's turn into Rusty, a series of events I think Dean wishes never happened. We also see Dr. Girlfriend and Phantom Limb shopping at the mall, and they're being stalked by the mighty Monarch.
She's turning around, quick! Evasive maneuvers, now!
Whose mastery of the cocoon controls leaves a little bit to be desired. And whilst Phantom Limb gives us a talk on bread knives, Hank bumps into the Monarch crew.
Magnificent. Finally, someone who understands that serration is only good for bread.
Wow.
And the Monarch meets up with Dr. Girlfriend. Dr. Girlfriend is having none of his crap. She knows he's been stalking her. She knows that the Monarch is just acting on instinct rather than being truly sorry for anything he's done.
What, are you gonna pretend that we just accidentally ran into each other now? You know, do that fancy meeting you here routine?
No, I guess,
Could it be that you were tailing me in a gigantic floating cocoon?
And everything goes haywire as the Monarch still can't choose between his two greatest loves, hating Venture and Dr. Girlfriend.
To who? To your henchmen? I don't believe I was falling for this. You haven't changed at all.
And I think everything is extremely justified because as Dr. Girlfriend tries to tear him a new one, the Monarch darts at her and runs away with her as Phantom Limb approaches. Then see the Monarch squad fighting Brock Sampson, and you know Brock's caught unawares because he actually kind of loses this fight. I mean, he is outnumbered and definitely outgunned, so it's not 100% fair, but I think it's one of the few times we see Brock really get his butt handed to him. And as the Monarch reads poetry to his bow, Doc loses an eyeball, and it is one of the most disturbing scenes the show has to offer, where we get a glance of Doc's perspective, seeing two different views, and also just it dangling around.
I'm gonna throw up.
And as Brock gets shot, the Monarch drops Dr. Girlfriend. They escape with Dr. Venture. Phantom Limb absconds with Brock Sampson. And the two boys are left with Dr. Girlfriend. And Brock has to listen to another villain's spiel about his lair. And it's something Brock has had to face many a times. And we see later on in this series, he just tells Phantom Limb to shut it in his next villain spiel.
Are sitting smack dab in the middle of Location B for the Guild of Calamitous Intent.
You like doing that, don't you?
Oh, yes. Next.
And we see all of the things Brock has been impaled with. And it's a sizable list because it's Brock Sampson. He doesn't know how to dodge bullets. He is just very good at keeping moving.
I have removed the bullet and 3 others: a blowgun dart, 2 shark's teeth, the tip of a bayonet, a twisted paper clip, and a meager handful of buckshot. You may want to learn how to duck.
Brock gets a blast of muscle accelerant as Phantom Limb goes on about guild regulations in order to form a team up. And they prepare to rescue the Venture Bros and get back Dr. Girlfriend from the clutches of the Monarch. In fact, having no idea what's going on with anyone else.
Let's go.
I thought for sure you were gonna hit me with lock and load.
The night is still young.
And the Monarch is thrown into jail by his henchmen, the former gang members, and is locked in there with his arch nemesis, Dr. Venture.
Oh, first a mutiny and now I can't believe I'm sharing the same air as my sworn enemy.
Dr. Girlfriend realizes it's up to her to fix the situation, and with no means of transport and stuck along with the tag-alongs that are the Venture Boys, she goes about stealing Brock's car.
The woman candy ass?
Wait a sec. Okay, get it.
How do you know all this stuff, lady?
And of course, Dr. Girlfriend already knows all the traps in Brock's car because she's been working with the Monarch for years and is just a really smart person. So she sets about disabling those, and Hank is driving as the candy ass Dean is shoved in the back seat.
Wait a minute. Are you our mommy?
And I think this is like the first episode we've really got to see Dot Girlfriend shine. Obviously, she takes a way more substantial part throughout the rest of the show, but I think season 1 really lacks a lot of her genius.
There we go.
A good call on the WD-40, said the Monarch grudgingly.
21 suggests prison crew team up and go through a tiny grate in the ceiling to get his weapons. And of course, it is a tight squeeze, but eventually they all get through. And arm up with 21's arsenal of legendary gear.
Well, are these they?
Yeah. And you have to admit it is a pretty formidable collection.
And it is the nerdiest set of collectibles we've ever seen. As all of the stunned members of the team are so these they, we see Lord of the Rings memorabilia, Star Trek memorabilia, X-Men memorabilia. It's just top tier. And we get to see an absolute phenomenal verbal fight between the Monarch and Dr. V.
Nice onesie, Dick. That have snaps in the back so you can make poopy.
Throwing out brilliant insults. Like
Maybe they'll think you're a 3-year-old with progeria and take pity on us.
Oh!
making fun of each other's clothes. Calling each other 3-year-olds with progeria.
Oh, I think you'll have that covered when you storm the room in butterfly costumes.
But after they eventually calm down, 21 convinces them to take up arms, but will not let his collectibles be opened out of their box. Their plan to siege and storm the castle is really going to go well. Brock and Phantom Limb approach the lair of the Monarch, armed with helicopter jetpack things and net cannons that actually work.
I'm so keeping this thing. It's the first net cannon I've used that actually works.
Hank's driving, and Dot Girlfriend seems annoyed as she has to explain to Dean that she's not their mum, and...
I'm
driving!
Yes, we know.
Mommy, how do you know where to go?
I'm not your mommy.
how she placed a tracker deep inside the Monarch. So, you know, a little bit of questions how exactly that works, but I think that's probably for another time. But Phantom Limb and Brock's team up is going well, at least. Phantom Limb is showing Brock a very clever move where he plays dead.
I've been rent asunder by your violence. Be merciful and finish me off.
And then Brock finishes it by shoving a man's finger inside his own butt. Not the first time we've seen Brock do this. Not the last time I think we'll see Brock do this. But always a treat. And as the Monarch, as Dr. Girlfriend arrives with the boys, Brock...
My car. Oh, I just fixed that!
Brock and Phantom Limb clear out the last of the old Monarch henchmen, and we hear Hulk smash as the Monarch charges into the throne room, only to get a hefty beating from Phantom Limb and Brock.
Who would like to lead us in prayer?
Dean and Hank are obviously confused about the situation, and you know it's not good when even Dean doesn't know what's going on, asking if everyone else here is one of Mummy's other boyfriends.
Are they all Mommy's other boyfriends? Stop calling me a f***ing mommy.
So in the end of the episode, Brock makes a pretty transphobic joke, and Phantom Limb almost kills him.
Man, I'm still looking for scars on her.
What? I'm a supervillain.
And I think that was the point of like the show where they stopped making fun of Dr. Girlfriend for that. I think there might be a little bit in Victor Echo November, but there might also not be. But that's Hateful Eight, so I hope to catch you in the next one. I'm actually having quite a lot of fun watching Adventure Bros again, so I'll keep these up.